Oh my God, I don't know who he is. He just refused to move.
The cop just shot an old man. Did you see that? It's really unbearable.
Call an ambulance.
Police tased a 92-year-old vet at a train station. 5 minutes later, black SUVs shut down the platform. When police tased 92-year-old Harold Morrison for refusing to open his briefcase, they didn't know the WWII veteran carried classified Pentagon documents. 5 minutes later, federal agents shut down Penn Station. Penn Station's underground maze hummed with Tuesday morning urgency, rolling luggage echoing off tile walls, Acela announcements crackling overhead, business travelers clutching phones like lifelines. At 8:47 a.m., the Washington, D.C. platform buzzed with power suits and classified conversations. Security cameras watched everything. Transit police patrolled with casual authority, unaware that their next decision would trigger federal response protocols that would transform America's busiest train station into a crime scene. Harold Hank Morrison moved through Penn Station like a ghost carrying secrets. At 92, his weathered hands gripped a leather briefcase with intensity earned through 78 years of protecting classified materials. 5'6" and 140 pounds, he appeared fragile until you noticed the steel spine that had endured Guadalcanal bombardments while decrypting Japanese naval codes under shell fire that would have broken lesser men. His Navy Cross and Medal of Honor stayed home, but his Pentagon clearance remained active because certain operations required memory that only Hank possessed. Today's briefing involved Pacific theater precedents relevant to current tensions with China documents most senators weren't cleared to see. The scars on his hands told stories: shrapnel from Iwo Jima, burns from a sinking destroyer, frostbite from Alaskan intelligence stations. Each mark represented moments when duty demanded sacrifice. Now, at 92, duty still called. The briefcase contained assessments of Chinese naval capabilities that enemy agents would kill for intelligence that guided American strategic decisions affecting thousands of service members stationed where Hank had once bled for freedom. Sometimes, serving your country means carrying its secrets until your dying breath. Transit police officer Miguel Martinez approached with routine authority that would soon become aggressive ignorance. What should have been brief security screening became confrontation between institutional power and federal duty when Hank politely declined briefcase inspection. Neither man understood they were about to trigger an international incident involving classified documents scattered across America's busiest train platform. "Sir, random security screening. Need to inspect your briefcase?" Martinez positioned himself between Hank and the Acela boarding area, his tone carrying practiced authority. Hank studied Martinez with calm assessment. Young officer, probably good intentions, zero understanding of federal security protocols. "Officer, this briefcase contains classified Pentagon materials requiring federal clearance for inspection." Martinez's jaw tightened. 5 years on transit police, 2 kids at home, pension 20 years away. He couldn't afford to look weak in front of commuters recording everything on cell phones. "Sir, I don't care about federal whatever. Transit police have authority here. Open it or face arrest." Actually, federal law supersedes local authority for classified materials, Hank replied gently, producing Pentagon credentials that Martinez examined with growing frustration. "Listen, old man," Martinez said, his professionalism cracking. "I've got quotas to meet and authority to maintain. Your little government games don't impress me." Hank recognized the dangerous shift professional procedure becoming personal power struggle. His briefcase contained Chinese naval assessments that could compromise American strategic advantages if photographed by foreign nationals present on the platform. Officer Martinez, I'm requesting supervisor consultation before this escalates unnecessarily. Martinez had started his career wanting to protect people. 5 years of dealing with homeless veterans, drug addicts, and commuters who treated him like furniture had hardened idealism into cynicism. His sergeant had made it clear. Random searches meant real searches, not bureaucratic negotiations with elderly passengers claiming federal protection. No supervisors, open it now or get arrested, Martinez said, reaching for handcuffs that symbolized his authority over civilian compliance. Hank understood the stakes. Protecting classified intelligence meant accepting whatever consequences Martinez's ignorance might inflict. The briefcase contained more than documents. It held strategic assessments that guided decisions affecting American lives across the Pacific Theater, where tensions escalated daily. Officer, I cannot comply with unauthorized inspection of materials that protect national security. Commuters gathered, phones recording confrontation that would soon go viral. Martinez felt their attention, their judgment, their assumption that he couldn't handle one stubborn old man. Final warning, Grandpa. Compliance or consequences. Hank's mind flashed to Guadalcanal Japanese shells exploding around his code-breaking station, classified materials scattered across bloody sand, his decision to stay and protect intelligence while evacuation ships departed. Duty had demanded sacrifice then. It demanded sacrifice now. I cannot comply with unauthorized access to classified materials, Hank stated with military finality. Martinez drew his taser. Sometimes serving your country means accepting injustice from those who don't understand what service means. The electrical shock dropped Hank like lightning striking an ancient oak. His 92-year-old heart, weakened by decades of stress and old wounds, seized as 50,000 volts coursed through frail bones that had survived Japanese artillery, but couldn't absorb modern police technology. Classified documents exploded from his briefcase Pentagon letterhead, top secret stamps, Chinese naval assessments scattering across Penn Station's platform like autumn leaves carrying America's secrets to anyone with a camera phone. Jesus Christ, those are real federal documents, gasped businessmen who'd recorded everything. That old man was telling the truth. Martinez stared at scattered papers with growing horror. His authority complex evaporated as he processed career-ending implications of tasing federal official carrying authentic, classified materials. Hank lay motionless, his heart struggling to restart after electrical trauma. Paramedics rushed forward while commuters photographed classified documents, foreign nationals, business travelers, tourists unknowingly documenting intelligence that enemy services would analyze frame by frame. As consciousness faded, Hank's mind returned to Guadalcanal wounded Marines depending on his decoded intelligence, enemy positions revealed through captured communications, American lives saved by information he'd protected with his own blood. Sometimes the greatest battles are fought not with weapons, but with the courage to do your duty regardless of personal cost. Cell phone videos went viral within minutes. Respect our veterans exploding across social media as millions watched Martinez tase 92-year-old war hero whose military bearing was obvious despite civilian clothes. But viral outrage paled beside classified compromise. Pentagon security alerts reached Joint Chiefs within 3 minutes. Harold Morrison, their irreplaceable Pacific theater consultant, was down, classified materials scattered, foreign nationals photographing documents that guided American strategic planning. Federal Protective Service immediate tactical response to Penn Station Platform 12. Radio traffic crackled. Classified materials compromised, federal courier down, implementing damage control protocols. Martinez watched Hank's motionless form while paramedics worked. The old man's pulse was thready, breathing shallow, skin gray with cardiac distress. What had started as routine security screening was becoming federal incident with international implications. "Officer Martinez, you just tased someone carrying Pentagon documents," observed Transit Police Sergeant Rodriguez, arriving to find his subordinate in career-ending crisis. But Rodriguez's concerns were interrupted by distinctive sound that made experienced cops step back, multiple helicopters approaching fast, their rotors announcing federal response that would transform Penn Station from transportation hub into classified crime scene. Black SUVs arrived with precision that showcased federal capabilities when national security was threatened. Federal agents emerged with tactical authority that instantly transformed Penn Station's chaos into organized lockdown operation. "Federal agents, step back from classified materials," Special Agent Lisa Chen commanded, while tactical teams secured scattered documents that Martinez's ignorance had exposed to unauthorized personnel. Martinez found himself handcuffed as federal agents collected evidence of his assault on Pentagon courier, while establishing perimeter that excluded local authority from national security investigation. "Officer Martinez, you're under arrest for assault on federal official performing classified duties," Agent Chen announced while coordinating with Pentagon security about damage assessment requiring immediate intelligence community involvement. Hank regained consciousness to find federal medical team providing cardiac support while protecting classified documents his dedication had preserved despite physical assault. His first words, "Are the documents secure?" "Yes, sir," Agent Chen replied with respect earned through Hank's sacrifice. "General Hayes is en route." The smell of antiseptic mixed with fierce sweat from commuters who'd witnessed classified intelligence scattered like confetti across America's busiest transportation hub. General Patricia Hayes arrived to find Penn Station locked down, while federal investigators processed crime scene involving assault on their most valuable historical consultant. Hank's expertise guided strategic decisions affecting Pacific theater operations that couldn't be replaced by contemporary analysts. "Agent Chen, damage assessment," Hayes demanded while rushing to Hank's side. Approximately 40 documents exposed for 90 seconds before tactical recovery. Multiple foreign nationals present, several photographed materials before perimeter establishment. Hayes knelt beside Hank, her 4-star authority softened by genuine concern for elderly warrior whose institutional memory was irreplaceable. "Harold, how are you feeling?" "Like I got hit by Japanese artillery, ma'am," Hank whispered, his humor intact despite obvious cardiac distress. "Did we protect the operation?" "You protected everything that mattered," Hayes replied, understanding that Hank's sacrifice had prevented worse compromise while triggering federal response that would ensure accountability for his mistreatment. Martinez sat in federal custody processing consequences of tasing Pentagon courier whose monthly briefings influenced decisions affecting millions of American service members stationed where Hank had once earned his courage through blood and sacrifice. Emergency cardiac surgery revealed Martinez's taser had triggered heart attack in Hank's 92-year-old cardiovascular system electrical shock that nearly ended career of Pentagon's most valuable Pacific theater consultant when tensions with China demanded his historical expertise. Mr. Morrison is experiencing cardiac arrhythmia consistent with electrical trauma, Dr. Sarah Martinez reported to General Hayes, who'd established Pentagon Medical Command Post at New York Presbyterian Hospital. "Doctor, will he survive?" Hayes asked with concern. Extending beyond professional interest, Hank's memory contained classified operations that couldn't be documented without compromising ongoing intelligence capabilities. Surgery successful, but recovery depends on his body's ability to heal from electrical shock trauma at his age. Meanwhile, international intelligence services analyze cell phone footage of scattered documents, their frames potentially revealing American strategic assessments that would compromise Pacific theater advantages, where Hank's expertise guided contemporary military planning. Martinez faced federal prosecution while his family processed implications of his assault on war hero career destroyed, pension forfeited, reputation ruined by 90 seconds of authority, complex overriding common decency, and federal law. Sometimes the price of ignorance is paid not just by those who choose it, but by everyone whose lives they touch.